Today we are looking at the 2008 MCU movie Iron Man, the one that started it all. Now I'm a bit late on this list of MCU movies franchise, but hey, better late than never. Question is this movie still as good as I remember? Let's check it out. Man, it is crazy to think that this movie came out more than a decade ago. This is the Iron Man creation story, a much needed one, due to the fact that the average person at the time had no idea who he was. Tony Stark, a super genius son and heir to the Stark Industries, has benefited greatly from his massive corporation, which has made billions and billions of dollars selling weapon technologies around the world. Up until this point, Tony has enjoyed a shallow, pretty boy life. This is until he realizes that his company has done things and is doing things that he never gave any thought to until he tastes the hard truth firsthand. This, of course, causes him to become Iron Man. I was really wondering if I was going to enjoy this movie as much as I did back in the day. Due to the fact, like, special effects, are they going to look super cheesy? I mean, 2008's a while ago. Are they still any good? And surprisingly, the special effects held up really well. I think they were at the point where they had a lower budget, so they couldn't go crazy with the special effects. So I think it kind of kept them a little bit more toned, so there was like action, but not too much action, but just enough action. And I really like that part about it. As far as the acting goes, most of us know that Robert Downey Jr. is an exceptional actor, and he was able to create a Tony Stark that was dynamic, interesting, funny, kind of fly boy, pretty boy guy. Really, I would say carry on with personality and lead the whole entire franchise of the MCU, in my humble opinion. It is said that in this movie, the actors were encouraged to do as much improvising as possible. And I think that was a great decision done by the director, considering the level of talent. We have Jeff Bridges, Terrence Howard, Gwyneth Paltrow, and of course Robert Downey Jr. All wonderful actors, very capable in their own. So I can imagine letting them just improv gave wonderful results, and it shows on film, it really does. As far as seeing something that we could all learn from this movie that I thought was a good build a better life lesson, for me it stood right out. In this movie, the main character has had a business that is basically killing people, and he's made a lot of profit off it. When he realizes he did that, does he say sorry and then go about doing what he's doing, hide it, double down like a lot of us will do? No, he actually decides to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make an amends. And not only that, I'm going to make a living amends. He makes an amends by saying, I'm going to change these things with my company. This is going to change. We're not going to do this anymore. None of this. Innocent people are dying. I didn't realize what my weapons were doing. I thought they were being used for a good purpose, but they really weren't. And I want to change that. Not only that, I want to now become Iron Man and do a living amends, saving people who need saving from his weapons initially, but just saving the people who need saving instead of being a terror, be a helpful, kind, save people type of character. And I think one can in general learn from this as a lesson. Not only does making an amends and fixing something wrong, and then making a living amends, if you can't like actually fix that problem, say, well then I swear I'll never do it again. In fact, I'm going to do this in place of that to dedicate to it. That's going to make one feel like a better person. That's going to make one feel like they can look in the mirror. And it's going to also prevent them or help them remember next time there's a chance to do something wrong or something. Say, do I really want to have to make amends for this later? So this is some great skills and some great tools that we can all use in building better lives. In summary, this movie is a great movie. I really enjoyed it. The next I've watched it, I don't even know how many times, guys, but I've watched it quite a bit. It's been a while since I've watched it, so I watched it now, and I tell you what, I am so pleased with it. It's such a lead of a movie to carry the series. It really is. The action is great. It's not too much, like I said. The acting is great. The special effects are good. As far as a creation story, I think it has it all, and it really establishes a really great character. One other thing I'd like to mention is kind of a side note that I thought about this movie as well. I like the way they don't go crazy with the CGI in it. Now, the later ones I understand, but at times with those later ones, I can feel like I'm watching an animated show because it's so much. And the more of that stuff you put in there, the more chances it is to look sloppy or not look as cool or look kind of fake. So in that sense, I feel like the limiting actually gave more, where less is more, if you know what I'm saying. So go ahead and feel free to leave a comment on what you think of this movie, if it was one of your favorite movies as well. That's why I'm giving Iron Man, the first one, the 2008, an 8 out of 10 8 out of 10. But you don't have to stop here. I do have a playlist for the MCU universe right here, and I also have some other movie or something you want to check out there. Continue your journey.